Miracle is the way things ought to be.
Everyone talks about dopamine as if it were the enemy. The problem is not dopamine. The problem is direction. Dopamine is simply a force that pushes us toward what we believe might be valuable. And without it, there is no desire, there is no motivation, and no curiosity. But if you learn how to direct that force, it can become one of the most powerful learning tools. In this video, I'm going to show you the 3-step process I use to turn dopamine into language learning. Step 1. Hunt for emotional content. Most people start with grammar, conjugation, random vocabulary lists. I start with curiosity, and this made me step into several new languages in less than a year. Here's what I do. I go on YouTube and I scroll. I'm looking for something that genuinely grabs my attention. A short documentary, an interview, a podcast, a story. Usually less than 20 minutes of content. Basically, a subject I already care about. It might be history, psychology, martial arts, business, but the topic doesn't matter. The emotional connection does. Keep in mind that dopamine follows emotion. And when I find a video that creates curiosity, I don't watch it immediately. I save it in a playlist, then I keep scrolling for a while, like everybody does, and then I might save a second video, maybe a third, and what I'm doing is building anticipation. Instead of consuming immediately, I'm saving it for later. That creates a small tension. The idea is to collect future motivation. Step 2. Transform content into learning material. Once I've selected my video, I take the URL and extract the subtitles. It takes only a few seconds. The video doesn't have to be in your native language. It just needs to be in a language you understand well enough to follow the ideas. So I've selected my video and I've extracted the subtitles. Then I use AI tools to organize the content into a format I can study. For those who want to go into the details of the process, I will provide more content in the future because it's a very important part of the process. From there, I select a small number of useful sentences and start working with them. Whatever language I'm learning, the process remains exactly the same. Those sentences become my learning material and I give them full attention. You could literally learn any language with that method. Step 3. Recycle dopamine. Most people consume a piece of content once and move on to the next one, then the next one, spreading themselves and wasting a lot of energy looking for dopamine. If you're looking for real transformation, and if you really want to go to the next level, pick only one at a time and focus on it until you get results. For example, yesterday I watched parts of the same Russian video several times. First with French subtitles, which is my mother language. Then with Russian subtitles. Then I removed the subtitles. Then I started shadowing entire sections. What I mean by shadowing is just repeating what the speaker says with a slight delay, ignoring my mistakes and focusing on rhythm, flow, and natural comprehension.
Это плохой коуч.
Меня часто спрашивают, как ставить цели, так чтобы они достигалось. Первая вещь, что я советую, это перестать путать цели и мечту. In this example, the content is rich enough to stay interesting. It's the same topic from different angles without changing the content itself. but my relationship with that very same video will change and evolve along the process. Every repetition reveals something new, and because I originally chose a topic I genuinely care about, the repetition doesn't feel like punishment. It feels more like exploration. It is so effective that afterwards you need to give your brain time to recover and assimilate. And a few days later, I repeat the cycle. My recommendation is to rotate between 2 or 3 videos to keep your learning fresh and engaging. The objective here is to create the right loop. A loop that brings undeniable results. Most people let dopamine decide what they consume. I use dopamine to decide what I repeat. And repetition is where language learning begins. That's why I don't think dopamine is the problem. But dopamine is a double-edged sword. Scroll endlessly and you may end up trapped in a loop. But create the right loop, and the same force can help you build a skill, learn a language, or transform your life. The goal is not to eliminate the loop. The goal is to choose it, to create it, and to make it work for you. I see you in the next video.